ask you about something you mentioned earlier. You said culture, economics, and politics. And I wasn't sure if you were saying it in that order for a reason, or if I could have just easily said politics, culture, and economics, or is it in that order that the culture shapes the economics and the economics shapes the politics? And then you mentioned even the spirituality, which forms that foundation of the culture. And I like that. That sounds like a beautiful blueprint, actually. I'd like for you to speak a little bit more on that in terms of, is that a specific order, or is it, or am I just seeing something?
There is a specific order. Now, my teacher is Dr. Leonard Jeffries on that subject matter. You know, Dr. Jeffries is the political scientist as well as the historian, and he studied economics extensively. Most people don't notice about Leonard Jeffries. You just think of him as the historian. And he outlined, when we were forming a group 40-something years ago called the Sons of Africa, this was a part of our daily workshop, right? And he had what he called his pyramid consciousness. You know, this thesis, antithesis, and looking at what is the conclusion. But when we broke it down, so okay, let's look at what do we need to do. Economics is the foundation of everything. But once you realize that, you have to do something to protect the integrity of that. So politics is your management system. Politics manages your economics. Once you get a management system that can manage your economics so that the distribution process is equitable, then that politics must be informed ethically and morally by your culture. Right? And at the core of your culture is your notion of divinity. You know, what we call spirituality. So it's really economic, politics, culture. The realization of what economics is and where economics can take us. Now, how do we manage it? Right now, this year, we purported to probably spend $2 trillion. But like Dr. Anderson said, we haven't aggregated that, so it's like we have $2, you know, instead of $2 trillion. What if we had a polity that could manage the $2 trillion? And that politics is informed by an ethical, moral culture based on our ancestral principles of communal, collective, cooperative, with the concept of our divinity at the center of it. See, because the African concept of God is very simple. God is every and all things at once, meaning nothing exists but God. So we see that symbol they call the Jinyami, the Jinyami. Y'all know the Jinyami, but most people don't know the meaning of Jinyami. Naninyami, Jinyami, it means nothing exists but God. Some people always say none but God. No, nothing exists but God. What then is the rest of existence? This is fundamental African culture. If nothing exists but the divine, then we are nothing more than aspects of that divinity with the possibilities of its possibilities. That's our culture.
Wow.
We don't want us to get there, because then you're boundless, you're limitless in your aspirations.